What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the show. So today we're going to do a Social Security update. And it's been a while since I did a few videos. Just so you know, I've been playing videos of the Senate confirmation hearing for the new nominee for the Social Security Commissioner position. And I've had some people say, why are you showing this? It's old news is basically what they're saying. It was about 3 weeks ago that they did the hearing. But the reason that I'm showing you that is because I want you guys to see all the different politicians and how they feel about Social Security. I think it's important. We learn a lot when we listen to politicians because they will say things sometimes that will not be positive or not move Social Security in a positive direction. And we need to know that because we are voters and we can vote people in and we can vote people out of office. And if we do have people that are not pro Social Security, if they don't want Social Security to expand, provide increases for people with benefits, you keep the COLA. That's what we're gonna take a look at this today because there's going to be a lady talking about COLA, and she's going to be talking to a Representative Underwood. And these are important things because if you have some of the wrong people in office, then the results that you're going to get out of that is going to be negative. Let's face it. Even if you have a president right now saying that he doesn't want to make any cuts or he doesn't have any plans to make cuts to Social Security or Medicare. But realistically, Congress is going to initiate it because Congress, they're the legislators. And so they would put something together to cut Social Security and they would pass it. And then it would get to the president's desk. And then the president would have a decision to make at that point. And even if the president says, I want to go ahead and veto this, then it goes back to Congress and Congress can override his veto. So Congress has the power right now when it comes to the reform for Social Security. And then we also have to look at the fact that we have some politicians that want to make cuts to Social Security, but they don't look at them as cuts. Raising the full retirement age is one. You raise the full retirement age, that's a cut to Social Security, but they don't look at that as a cut. Doing away with COLA. This is something that you have politicians talking about. If you do away with COLA, then so every year you're not going to receive a COLA increase, which if inflation goes up, your purchasing power is going to continue to dwindle. But some politicians look at that and they don't think that that's a cut. So these are things that are important because politicians might say, well, yeah, I don't have any plans to cut Social Security, but yeah, I'm in favor of raising the full retirement age. Well, that's a cut to Social Security. And you also have politicians saying, no, we have no plans to cut Social Security. And they're talking about benefits, but they're not talking about the administration. And the administration provides services for us. And so if we call, we don't want to have to wait on the phone for an hour. But if you cut the services, then we're going to wait on the phone for an hour. If we file a claim for disability, guess what? We're going to have to wait a longer period of time as a result of politicians saying, well, we're not cutting Social Security, but we are going to cut the budget for Social Security. So that's going to be less people that are employed. So all of these things matter. Okay, so I'm going to play this clip. This is Representative Underwood. She's being asked a question in a town hall. Here we go.
I am a Social Security recipient, and we haven't seen the big, beautiful bill. So we don't know everything that's in it. But his promises not to touch Social Security may and may not be true. My question is for down the line. Ladies and gentlemen, you know what happens in December. We get our cost of living information. Have you heard anything in that bill about that? Because we still have to pay these high medical costs. Yeah. I can't wait till the 1st because I'm out of everything. Yeah. I just want to know if you know anything about the cost of living increase.
Yes, ma'am. We have not received a notification yet about the cost of living adjustment that happens annually. And so it's my expectation that that would continue this year. And if it did not, I would consider that to be a cut. And we are working to prevent cuts to Social Security. When I say we want to protect and expand Social Security, what I mean is I support changes to the Social Security program that would require the highest income earners in this country to pay into Social Security based on their full salary. Okay? And so what that would do is that would allow current beneficiaries, folks on a fixed income who need that money when it gets deposited every month, to get a little bit of a raise, a little bit of a bump. And then it would protect the program so that future generations like millennials, Gen Z, these Gen Alpha, like the babies, can know with confidence that Social Security would be there for them. Because right now, folks don't have that belief. They don't have that comfort of knowing that this program will be around. So that's what I'm working on. If we get any wind of other cuts, we will not stand for it.
Okay, so that was Representative Underwood talking about Social Security, and she was talking about raising the cap, basically. So, and you have politicians that talk about this, raising the cap. So everyone who is working, no matter how much they make. So right now, if you make 176,100, something like that, if you make anything over that, you no longer have to contribute to FICA. So most people contribute to FICA, and with 100% of their salary, they're contributing to FICA. 6.2% is what they're taking from their salary. But if you hit that maximum, that 176,100, you no longer have to contribute. And so, and you're contributing to that amount, but you don't have to contribute anymore. So what she was saying is, look, you should have to contribute all the money that you earn, you should have to contribute to FICA. And that would bring in a lot more money. And with that money, you can provide an increase for people receiving Social Security benefits, for the people who need it the most, as well as you can extend the program out for another 50 years. So the people who are young right now thinking, and you have people right now, because information about Social Security is very, very bad. And you have politicians that will purposely mislead you when it comes to Social Security, and they'll tell you that the program is going bankrupt. And the reason why they're doing that, or I won't say the reason because I don't know the exact reason, but if you put false information out there like that, you're going to have people that are going to believe it. And so you're going to have younger people that are in their 20s and 30s thinking, why am I contributing to FICA? Why, when I look at my paycheck, every 2 weeks or every month, whenever I get paid, I see this money being deducted, and I'm not going to have it because I just heard this politician say that Social Security is going bankrupt. And that's not the truth. Social Security is not going bankrupt, but because you have politicians saying that, people are believing it. And so if a person is 20 or 30 years old, they're thinking, I don't want to have to pay for this. And then they'll say, I don't want to contribute. So what does that do in the future? That means that people will look at Social Security and say, well, since it's going bankrupt, let's just go ahead and privatize it, or let's do something else with it. And so we have to be very, very careful when we listen to politicians, because some politicians will lead you in the wrong direction on purpose, I would imagine, because they should know the facts, but they're not telling you the facts. And the facts are this: we have trust funds. The trust funds are being slowly depleted because basically right now we have FICA, the money coming in from the payroll contribution, it's not enough. And so you have 6.2% that you contribute, your employer matches that 6.2%, that money goes to the trust funds, and then that money comes out to pay out benefits. And what's going on is, because we're not collecting enough in FICA, because we don't have, our workforce is dwindling, and we have people that are living longer. And so what that means is right now it's about, for every 3 people that are working, they are paying for 1 person who's receiving benefits. And that is slowly changing. And it's changing so you have 2 people working for every 1 person that's receiving benefits. And then you'll get to a point where you have 1-to-1. And so because you have less money going to the trust funds, paying out benefits, that means that the trust funds, which is about 2.6 trillion right now, the trust funds, we have to pull from the trust funds. And the easiest way I explain it is like this: you have a checking account, you have a savings account. In your savings account, you have money that you have saved up. In your checking account, that's the money that you receive every 2 weeks in your paycheck. Now, with that money, you have enough to pay your bills, but you still need to pull a little bit because you have a few other bills that aren't covered with your paycheck that you get every 2 weeks. So it's the same situation. Now, if we get to a point where you're slowly taking money from that savings, and then eventually that money is all gone from your savings account, you still have money because you still have money coming in through your paycheck. So you're not completely broke, but you have certain things that you might not be able to pay for because you no longer have that trust fund. And so that means that you're going to have to tighten up your wallet. And so that's what is going on with Social Security. So you have a system right now that has FICA coming in, paying out benefits, and then they're slowly taking a little bit from the trust funds. In about 8 years, those trust funds are going to be completely depleted. If we get to that point and Congress hasn't made any adjustments, they haven't reformed Social Security, you're looking at about a 23% cut. but the program will still be around. As long as we have people in the workforce, we're going to have people receiving benefits. That's just the way that that's the way that it's designed, and it will work that way. And so I would imagine 10 years down the road, we're still going to have people working. 20 years down the road, we're still going to have people working. I mean, this is the situation that we're in right now, but you do have politicians that will mislead you. So the bottom line is she's talking about making everyone pay. So if you're working and you're earning a salary, you need to contribute. That's basically what she was saying there. And then they also talked about COLA. This is very important because you do have politicians that want to do away with COLA. So that cost of living adjustment that you receive every year, they want to do away with it. And so there's fear. And you saw this lady was fearful of, well, what happens if they get rid of COLA? It's a possibility. We don't know what's coming with this reconciliation bill. We'll have to see what they do with that. But that is one way to cut Social Security. And that will impact a lot of people. And some people think, oh, well, you know what? My last COLA was only $50. So it's not really that big of a difference. Well, you compound that for 3-4 years, that's a lot of money. And that's money that's being lost because basically the cost of living adjustment it needs to keep up, or it's supposed to keep up with inflation. Now it doesn't do that, but it does help a little bit. And so if you get rid of that entirely, now your purchasing power is going to continue to dwindle, and you'll get to a point where you'll be receiving that same amount, whatever it is. Let's say you receive $2,000 a month, you receive that $2,000 a month. 10 years down the road, that $2,000 a month is not going to be worth anything. It's not going to be worth much at all. So these are some important things. I'm glad that we're seeing these town halls and people are asking these important questions. And so I just wanted to give you a quick update. And I'm in this beautiful location right now. I'm in Columbia, but I'm in a nice area. I want to show you guys real quick to see what I'm looking at. So this is my view from the balcony. Very, very nice place. And I'll be here for a couple more days and then I'll be back with regular content. But just wanted to give you guys an update. If you guys have any questions, let me know down below. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe for more, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Bye. So that's all we have for this video. Make sure if you guys want to send me an email, you can do that, david@thetecshow.com. Like the video, subscribe for more, and check out these videos over here for some more great content. Talk to you later. Bye.